Hello, my name is Amanda Lacey, and this is the Student Paperwork Requirements tutorial and how-to video for all University of Louisville Field Experience students. This is the most current video as of August 2023. Now it's important to note that because you may need to return to this video at other points in time to renew some of these checks, there will be timestamps provided in the video description so that you can get to wherever you need to go efficiently without watching the whole video. Let's get started. So there are four required components for field experiences at the University of Louisville. The first component is background checks. The second component is the child abuse and neglect, or CAN check. The third component is the JCPS account registration. And the fourth and final component is the field experience logs, which you will be completing after your observations. We will go over all four of these components in this video. Background checks. So please note that when it comes to background checks, having done any of these at any point in time does not necessarily mean that you've done all of these at any point in time. The most important thing to remember is that you need to be on top of your own paperwork. There are hundreds of students, and we will not be repeatedly reminding you of the next steps that you need to be taking or any checks that you may be missing. We've definitely had students in the past who've needed to retake classes because they weren't checking their paperwork, so please make sure that this does not happen to you. So there are three different types of background checks that you will need to complete in order to be entering into field experiences. The first is the paid JCPS background check, this first one over here. This check you need to renew every 5 years. So for most of you, if you are going through a 4-year program, you will only need to do this once. The second check right here is the volunteer JCPS records check that looks like this. This check, many of you may have already completed at some point in time if you ever volunteered at a JCPS school. And for this check, you only need to do it once. So once you have completed it a first time, you do not need to enter it again. The third and final check is the child abuse and neglect, or CAN check, which we will be talking about in depth later in this video. So for this check, you need to renew it every single year, and you need to have it uploaded every single year. This is the most important one to keep on top of because you do have to make sure that after 12 months have passed, you are getting it done again. So let's talk a little bit more about these. So to start completing your background checks, you can navigate to this link right here, which will also be provided in the video description box. And you will click on the link for field experience right here in the center of the page. You will then click JCPS School Volunteer Records Check, which is right here in the middle of the page, and enter in all of your information. If you think for any reason that you have completed this before, you can click this link that says click here to check status, enter in your social security number, date of birth, and last name, and it will tell you if you've completed this form before. If you haven't completed this form before, then you can go back in here and start entering in your information. Note that right here, it automatically fills in the area code and it looks like you cannot erase it. But if you put your cursor, try to put your cursor in this box and just type, it should overflow those numbers. So don't worry about that. It can be overwritten. Of one final note is that for this form, you should use your home address, not a dorm address, because it's going off of your more permanent information. So once you fill out this screen, you hit the next button down here. And then you choose your volunteer location. So you will choose U of L-997 for the location to volunteer. For the sponsoring organization, it is also the University of Louisville. And the program of your volunteering is University of Louisville. The date available to start, you can just put today's date. It doesn't matter. They're not really double checking that. You can answer this part if you want. Again, doesn't matter. And then you hit the next button. Finally, you can hit finish without creating an account, and you will have officially been added to the JCPS database. So now that you've completed that check, it's time for the next check. So for the second check, you will again navigate to this website here and click Field Experience. This time, the link you're clicking is the volunteer background check right here. For this check, once you click that link, it's going to take you to a page that has MySchoolBucks on the top corner. This is the vendor that they use for this background check. This background check is a much more simple process in terms of getting your information in. So you'll just put in your social security number and email address, and it'll cost $10.41. You'll click purchase. You will then click check out as a guest. You do not need to create a MySchoolBucks account. You'll then get to this page where you enter in all of your payment information, and then you will click continue at the bottom, and you'll be done with this check. You should get an emailed receipt for this check, and that receipt is what you will email to our graduate assistant for processing. So the next check, the child abuse and neglect check, is the third background check, and it's the one that can be the most difficult. So it's very important that you pay very close attention to the instructions in this part of the video, because if you mess anything up, they will reject your CAN check and you will have to complete the process again, and they won't refund your money. So to start this process, you're going to need a credit or debit card and a picture of your driver's license or passport or birth certificate or social security card. I recommend you just go with a picture of your driver's license. A lot of us have driver's licenses already, and it's the easiest thing to obtain and take a picture of. So there are 2 steps to completing the CAN check properly. You have to complete the CAN check request online, and then after you receive your results, which is usually a few days later, you need to upload them to your JCPS portal profile. It is important to note that for this check, JCPS does not automatically receive a copy of the results. You will be the one responsible for sending them in. So again, JCPS will need you to send the results of this check in. It's the only check that you need to do that on your own for. And as I said earlier, the CAN check must be renewed every year. So the first step is you go to this link right here. Again, you can find it in the video description box, and you will click Create Account. When you are creating your account, you should fill everything out as per normal. And again, we ask that you use your home address and not your dorm address, because this is a more permanent profile for more permanent information. Once you have signed up, they do make you verify your information with an email. So you'll have to check your email and verify that it is your current email before you're allowed to sign back in. So you go to your email and you'll click this link that you'll get to activate your account. And then you'll be able to then sign into your account and get started. Now, of note is that we have noticed that some students, when they sign in, they start asking you to verify a cell phone number. You can skip that part, or you can enter it in if you like. They also might have a pop-up about organ donation. Again, you can fill it out if you like, but it's not mandatory for completing the CAN check. So once you are into the Kentucky system, you may have CAN check on your dashboard, you may not. So if you have it on your dashboard, go ahead and click the enroll button. But if you do not see it anywhere, you can go ahead and just type CAN payment and verification into the search box right here, click search, and it should come up. So once you click that CAN button, it's going to have a screen that looks like this pop up, and it looks like there's a lot of words on the page, which is fine. I'm here to walk you through it. So the form that you need to make sure that you complete is this one right here. So the very first thing you do when you get to this page is go up to this toolbar right here, click form, and scroll down to where it says Central Registry Check DPP-156. This is the form that you need to complete. If you can complete either of these other forms, it will get bounced back because that is not the correct form. So you'll click that link, and when that happens, the page should regenerate to start showing the proper form. So of this form, the first thing you need to do is click that you are a public school employee, comma, student teacher, comma, contractor, comma, or school-based decision-making council member. And then at the very bottom, you need to type University of Louisville. This is because they want to know why you are requesting a CAN check. So they will know University of Louisville, oh, they're a University of Louisville student, that's fine. In the next section, you are entering your personal information once again. Of note in this section is that this part that says maiden / nickname / other, if you leave that box blank, it won't let you submit the page at the bottom. So if you don't have a maiden name or a nickname or other name that you've gone by in the past, just type NA. For the date of hire, again, just use today's date. And then down here in this section, you'll have to enter in your current address information. Again, permanent address. If you haven't been living at that permanent address longer than 5 years, it will ask you for other addresses in the previous 5 years. When you scroll down further, there's going to be a box that talks about entity requesting information. This is where you enter in the University of Louisville's information. You do not enter in information for JCPS or anyone else. And you should not be checking this box down here. I know that this box seems like the results can get automatically sent in, but I'm telling you right now, it does not work that way, unfortunately. So do not check this box, but you will fill out this information. So this first part, you just put a University of Louisville in for the name with the R, University of Louisville address for the College of Education. Again, leaving this box unchecked. Finally, we get to the bottom of the page, which is where you upload your documentation. Now note that the CAN check does not require a driver's license. You can also use your birth certificate, social security card, passport, or other form of legal ID, but we suggest a driver's license just because it's normally the easiest thing for people to have nearby and to take a picture of. Now, when taking a picture of whatever documentation that you have, make sure that it is clear and easy to read, because if it is not, your CAN check will get bounced back and you'll have to do it again and pay another $10, which nobody wants to do. So if you are using your phone to take this picture, which a lot of us probably are, I would recommend holding the phone a little bit further away as opposed to up close to the document. I have found in the past that if you hold it a little further away and then crop the picture, the document is actually usually a little bit clearer than if you had put it up close to the document in the first place. I also know that those with iPhones, the Notes app has a special feature where it can scan a document in and automatically crop it, which is great. You can use that. I also know that Snapchat has pretty good success rates with taking pictures like this as well. Now, when you upload the picture, you will have to make sure that it is less than 2 megabytes, otherwise it won't let you proceed with your application. So if you are emailing a picture into yourself from some other source or program, you'd probably want to select the smallest size that you can send it that makes it still legible. Using Snapchat, I think automatically does have it that size. And if you're using an iPhone, if you email it to yourself at the smaller medium size, it should be just fine. If you're having issues with the image size, though, we do have this website down here, imagecompressor.com, that will allow you to shrink the size of your image so that the CAN check system will accept it for upload. So once you have your image ready, you will enter in the name of that document, so driver's license, birth certificate, or whatever document you're uploading. You'll click choose file and choose it from your computer, and then you will click upload. Now make sure you do click upload and don't just go down here to the bottom of the page, because it will not attach the document. A lot of times students will forget to click the upload button, hit submit, and they're like, well, it's not letting me move further. It's not letting me move further. It's because you didn't upload the document. So make sure you click this, and then you click the submit button at the bottom of the page. Do not click either of these other buttons because they do different things that are not what you want. So click submit. Now, it's important to note here that if you are under 18, you will have to submit an additional document at this stage. You have to have the parental consent form filled out and signed by your parent guardian to run the CAN check. This is a recent change, so some of your professors might not be aware that if you're under 18, you actually have to submit the CAN check now, because in previous years you didn't have to. So if you are under 18 years old, you will have to hit the parental consent form link here at the top, download the consent form and have it signed by your parent or legal guardian, and also upload this as part of the CAN check application process. So again, you'll have to upload both this and your form of identity documentation in order to proceed. So once you hit submit on the previous page, you will get this page and you have to click pay by credit or debit card. I'm very sorry, we do not have a payment code. This is just one of those things that has to come out of pocket. You'll hit proceed to e-sign, put your signature, date, and time, and click sign and pay. When you input your payment information, it's going to look like this. I here want to remind you again that if you did anything incorrectly, they will reject this payment and you will have to pay again. After you hit submit payment, you have to make sure you do not exit out of this page, because you need to click complete payment and return to CAN in order to formally finish the request. So don't just exit out of this page, click this button here. Now, this is confirming that your CAN check has been run, but you're still not done, unfortunately. So it's going to take a few days. Sometimes it takes up to a few weeks in previous years, but that hasn't been the case for a while. So hopefully it'll come back quickly. But eventually you will receive an email from the state saying, hey, your CAN check has been completed. You're good to go. So you'll open up your email. You'll click the link in your email right here. It'll let you log in. And once you log in, you will be able to go to your dashboard where you will be able to click print next to your CAN check. And when you have CAN checks in other years, as you renew them, they will also appear on this list. So you have access to both previous years and current years CAN checks here. So you click the print button. And then from here, you will scroll down, you'll hit this save icon where it says PDF. You'll click that and you will be able to download your CanCheck as a PDF. If you can't, if you do not save this or print this as a PDF, it'll save as a file and we cannot use that file. The CanCheck will only be accepted by the JCPS system as a PDF. So make sure that you're saving it as a PDF. You're not saving this page, you're not printing this page. You want to use this feature and click print to PDF. It's very important that you complete this step correctly. Once you have your CanCheck, you can then upload it to the JCPS portal, and you also need to send a copy to the OEDCP graduate assistant for processing. When you are uploading it to the JCPS portal, you'll upload it here where it says CanCheck, and you put the CanCheck date here, and this also helps JCPS know when you're 12 months after the CanCheck are up when you need to renew it. It's also important to note here that after you click upload on here and you submit it to this page, sometimes it looks like it disappears in the JCPS system, but it usually doesn't disappear. It's just not visible to you. So if you hit submit and you don't get an error message, it did successfully submit. You just can't see it on your end. Now at this step of the process, you might be like, well, I don't have a JCPS portal account yet, so how can I upload it? Well, that is actually the next portion of this video. So your JCPS account registration, you do need a JCPS portal account in order to have field experiences, even if you do intend to eventually student teach or work in a different district. So this is how to get that account created. Now, you should note that all students will receive an email invitation to create their JCPS portal account. All new students, I should say, will receive this invitation to create their JCPS portal account sometime within the first or second weeks of school. This portion of this how-to video will detail how to log in without that invitation, and that's perfectly fine to do it that way as well. You should not come across any error messages while doing so. So to access the JCPS portal, you'll navigate to this website right here and click the Field Experience button. Again, this link is in the description box for this video. You will click up here, Login-Register. Click Use Another Account. And then you will click No Account, Create One. If you already have an email address filled in here or something else, again, you're still following these steps. Act like you don't have any email address filled in and click Create One. You will then click Sign Up with Email and enter in your alphanumeric university email address. By alphanumeric, I mean the one with your username before the Louisville.edu and not your first dot last name, which a lot of us also have. So you're using this email address. And after you enter that email address, instead of creating a password, you're actually going to be asked to enter in a password. And for that, you will enter in your U of L password. We have it set up so that the JCPS system and the U of L system can talk to each other. So you use the same email and password to log into both systems. So once you do that, you should have access to the JCPS portal and will be redirected to this page. For this page, all you're doing is you're filling out all of your basic information at the top once more, and you can then proceed to upload anything that you need to upload. When filling out this information, make sure that you set the semester to the current semester that you are in, and that you are also setting your placement type to field experience if you're a field experience student, or student teacher if you're about to enter into your student teaching semester. 99.9% of students watching this video right now will be field experience, especially if you're an EDTP 201 or 107. That's the placement type that you should be choosing. For university, also enter in U of L. There's a section at the bottom that says required for student teachers. Those of you watching this video just for field experiences, you do not fill this part out. Completely ignore this part, and then you will click submit at the bottom. Now, at any stage in the portal process, if you receive an error message that you are unable to fix, you need to contact JCPS directly for support at this email address. We at the University of Louisville in the placement office cannot help with portal tech issues. We just don't have that capabilities. We don't have the access to their systems. So any tech issues that you cannot fix on your own, you need to contact JCPS support directly. And that is the email address. Now, after you have your portal account created, like I said, it's an account that will follow you throughout your time and field experiences at the University of Louisville. So if there are any changes or you need to upload a fresh CanCheck, anything like that, you can log into your portal account at any time, click update your student profile, and update any information as necessary. As I just said, if you have any problems creating an account with JCPS Portal, we do have these support email addresses. So for tech support, which is just error messages about the system itself, creating an account, passwords, etc., this is the email address right here. If you have issues uploading paperwork, this is the email address, this JCPS student teacher email address. I do want to emphasize that you should make every effort to upload the paperwork on your own end, as opposed to just emailing it in, because this email inbox does get overwhelmed sometimes and your paperwork could be lost in processing. So make sure that you're doing everything, you're checking everything to make sure that if your paperwork upload is failing, it's for something that truly is a JCPS problem. I also want you guys to remember that OEDCP cannot help with tech issues because it is a JCPS run system. The final part to remember for field experiences is field experience logs. So there is another video about how to do this in depth that is already listed on YouTube. And here's the link right here. I will also have it in the description box for this video. When you're in your field experiences, you need to make sure that your field experience log is filled out for every single one of them. You will need to have every single one of them signed by yourself, as well as the mentor teacher, as well as your professor or university supervisor, and you need to save these. You are responsible for keeping track of these for your entire time in the education program at the University of Louisville. So save copies, scan copies, do whatever you need to, but it's important that you start keeping track of your hours immediately and right away. So here's what that looks like up close. And again, I will link the how-to video in the description box so that you can have a more in-depth look about what the requirements are for filling out this form. Remember, scan or make copies of all your logs because you will need them later. And that is the final part of this video. So here are some frequently asked questions and important links right here that you can find. They will again be in the description box for this video. And if you have any issues at all, you are more than welcome to reach out to me, Amanda Lacey, and my email address will also be in the description box. Good luck with your field experiences. We're so excited to have you having your education here at the University of Louisville and becoming a future educator.